Israel just flipped the switch in Gaza, literally. No more electricity for the Gaza Strip. But that's just the beginning. The pressure is on Hamas like never before, and now the Houthis are jumping back into the fight, threatening to attack Israel again if they don't lift the aid blockade on Gaza. Meanwhile, President Trump just threw down the gauntlet, warning Hamas that there will be hell to pay if they do not release the hostages. The question is this the final push to break Hamas once and for all? Let's dive right in. I'm Josiah Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. Real quick, we have a special film about Judea and Samaria dropping here on the channel this Wednesday. This is one of the most important films you'll ever see about Judea and Samaria. Please watch it and share with all your friends. We really would like this to go out as far and wide as possible. So here's the deal. Israel's energy minister, Eli Cohen, just announced that Israel is immediately stopping all electricity supply to Gaza. No negotiations, they just cut it off. Now, this isn't just about power. This is a direct pressure tactic by Israel against Hamas. Israel is saying, you want to keep our hostages? Fine, but you're not going to do it while we, Israel, supply your electricity. Now, what's Israel's goal? Squeeze Hamas so hard that they are forced to negotiate. We're talking about Israeli hostages still trapped in Gaza. It's been months, and enough is enough. For some reason, Israel is trying every tactic possible except full-out war to try and get Hamas to negotiate. Although Israel is ready to unleash its military might on the Gaza Strip at any moment, as we've seen in last week's show, they seem to be exhausting all of the options first to get their hostages home. Now, obviously, when the electricity is cut to Gaza, everybody in Gaza is affected, both Hamas and the 2 million Hamas sympathizers that Western media likes to call innocent Gazan civilians. Hospitals, water pumps, sewage treatment, yes, everything in Gaza is affected. Already, a major desalination plant that provides water to around 600,000 people in Gaza is out of commission. Now, one would think that this would be an extremely effective method to bring Hamas to its knees, or at least to the negotiating table. The only question is, why didn't Israel do this sooner? For the last 17 months of this war, Israel has been supplying electricity to the very terrorists who brutally massacred hundreds of Israeli civilians on October 7th. So, cutting the electricity to Gaza affects everyone there, but let's not forget who is responsible for this action. Hamas controls Gaza. They run everything in Gaza. They build terror tunnels instead of infrastructure like they were supposed to. They steal humanitarian aid on a daily basis. They're sitting on millions of dollars in foreign funding. Oh, and by the way, for the people who cry for these so-called innocent civilians in Gaza, those innocent civilians democratically elected Hamas to power in January of 2006. So, while the international media is crying about collective punishment, let's remember this is Hamas's fault 100% and the fault of those who support them. And speaking of crying, of course, the usual suspects are losing their minds over Israel cutting power to Gaza, calling out genocide alert. The UN, leftist activists, even some Western politicians, everyone is screaming, Israel is committing a war crime, genocide in Gaza. But where were these people when Hamas was launching rockets? Where were these people when Hamas massacred over 1,200 Israelis on October 7th? Oh, that's right. They said nothing about war crimes as far as Hamas is concerned. Guys, Israel is at war, and in war, you do what it takes to win. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Israel does not owe them electricity. They do not owe them water. They do not owe them food. They owe them nothing. If Hamas wants power, they can negotiate for it. Plain and simple. We'll be right back with the rest of the show in just 1 second. But first, with the challenges Israel is facing, I want to share with you a way you can strengthen Jewish families on the front lines of the battle for the land of Israel. Blessed by Israel is a company that brings the amazing products of families in the biblical heartland to people all around the world. From Israel straight to your doorstep, enjoy awesome products like coffee, roasted to perfection by Agro Cafe, which, by the way, I drink every single day here in the office. Several different kinds of delicious honey, jewelry, organic spices, and much, much more, all from wonderful small family-owned businesses in Israel's biblical heartland. Be a part of encouraging and investing in the people of Israel. Israel and enjoy high-quality products all at the same time. Head over to blessedbyisrael.com to purchase beautiful boutique products and make your impact today. And if you use the code INVEST, you can get $5 off your first order at blessedbyisrael.com, or just click the link in the description below. So President Trump met with former Israeli hostages last week and was shocked by their testimonies. A delegation of hostages, including Doron Steinbrecher, Eli Sharabi, Naama Levy, Yair Horn, Omer Shem Tov, and Keith and Aviva Siegel, visited Trump at the White House. Trump asked them if they encountered any kind people in the Gaza Strip, and he was shocked when the hostages told him no.
I was asking, what happened? How was it? I said, did you see anybody in there that was kind to, like, out of the hundreds of people that you were seeing, Hamas? Did some of them wink at you and say, don't worry, you're going to be okay, or give you a piece of bread, or no? I said, were there any people that were, like, kind? I was shocked. The answer was nobody. There was nobody. Just the opposite. They'd be slapped and punched. One man broke his ribs. He couldn't breathe for a month. It was brutal. I was so surprised. Could you think there'd be a couple of people that would be kind, that would say, you're going to be okay? But they had none of that.
Not long after Trump's meeting with the hostages, he posted his Shalom Hamas ultimatum on Truth Social, in which he threatened Hamas that they immediately release all the hostages, including the bodies of those they killed in captivity, or else it would be over for Hamas. Trump said, release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Since then, the U.S. has stepped up its negotiation game with Hamas, sending White House hostage affairs envoy Adam Boehler to negotiate directly with Hamas. Now, after a mix-up this last weekend between Israel and the U.S. over talks with Hamas that reportedly excluded Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his staff told the Israeli cabinet on Sunday that the sides came to an agreement that any talks between Boehler and the terrorist organization would be fully coordinated with Israel. And actually, Israel is sending a delegation on Monday, today, to Doha for a fresh round of talks on extending the fragile ceasefire in Gaza. The White House envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to travel to Qatar on Wednesday to take part in the talks. The so-called Witkoff outline, which the U.S. has backed, is up for discussion in these talks, according to Channel 12 News. The outline would see Hamas release 10 living hostages, including American-Israeli hostage Idan Alexander, in exchange for a further 60 days of the ceasefire. Now, the U.S. and Israel have been trying since the expiration of the first stage of the current ceasefire agreement, which expired on March 1st, to broker an extension of the ceasefire deal with Hamas, which would include the release of the rest of the hostages, but without committing to a complete end of the war with Hamas in Gaza. So now the Houthis are again threatening Israel. They're getting back in the game, trying to attack Israel. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels just dropped another threat against Israel. Here's what they said: lift the blockade on Gaza aid within 4 days or face naval attacks. Abdul Malik al-Houthi, their leader, made it clear that if humanitarian aid isn't allowed into Gaza, the Houthis will restart their strikes on Israeli and Western-linked ships in the Red Sea. Now, as much as we would like to say that this is just talk, between November 2023 and January of 2024, the Houthis launched over 100 attacks, sinking vessels and killing at least 4 seafarers. They've already proven they can disrupt global shipping, and they're not backing down. This time, however, if the Houthis decide to attack Israel or disrupt shipping in the Red Sea again, Israel won't have its hands full militarily like they did previously when Yemen attacked. Israel has already shown that they can deal very swiftly, and effectively, by the way, with threats even as far away as Yemen, and even with their hands full with Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran. So, honestly, if the Houthis decide to strike again, it will be very, very interesting to see Israel's response to this now that they are unhindered militarily, so to speak. The Houthis apparently gave Israel a 4-day deadline to lift their blockade of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip, and, well, that threat was issued 4 days ago. So, it remains to be seen if they will actually carry through with their threat. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out products from Blessed by Israel and get $5 off your first order using the special coupon code INVEST. The link is in the description below. Subscribe and get the conversation going down below. If you'd like to support our work here at The Israel Guys, head over to theisraelguys.com/donate. The link is also in the description below. Remember, as always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda and connect with the truth of what is happening here in Israel. We'll be back soon here at The Israel Guys.